What's up, leaders? Coach Tish here. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, I am Coach Tish. And so we train coaches and leaders to implement coaching into their businesses and ultimately to launch online coaching and consulting companies. And so every Monday, I come to you with this Freedom Foundations course. Freedom is my favorite subject. And so I've learned a thing or two about freedom, both by way of getting laid off my most recent academic advising job and traveling cross country for 2 weeks by car, by myself. And so on Mondays, I teach what I like to call Freedom Foundations. Most of you all are at work. This is a lunch and learn, right? So hopefully you're eating some delicious lunch. And no matter where I am, then I'm committed to sharing with you some of the things that I've learned about freedom. Now, I define freedom as being able to do whatever you want, when you want, with who you want, how you want. And so I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned. So over the past couple of weeks, we've discussed how freedom requires fear. So I have my little diagram here. How freedom requires faith, right? And today we're talking about how freedom also requires friends, okay? So if you are, let me know where you are watching from. Let's see here if I can see this. I want to know where you are tuning in from. Look. There we go. So comment below. I want to know where you are, where you're watching from. I'm in LA, so let me know where you are, okay? So if you are, I'm not going to say under a rock, right? But you've probably heard about Beyonce, right? And Beychella at Coachella this weekend, right? And how she's freaking rocking out. So I have a simple little diagram. I have a simple little diagram that I had drawn out, and it really identifies and kind of, I think, gets to the crux of what this whole freedom requires friends thing is all about. Let's see if I can turn this. You can see my diagram. Yes, you can. All right, so here's the diagram, right? If you are familiar with African proverbs, then you might be familiar with this sign here, this symbol here, and this is called Anansi. So the Anansi is basically the spider, right? And Anansi is basically a story about, or a series of folktales all about spiders. So before we get to that, let me just share with you, contrary to some people's belief, I am a natural introvert. Okay. I'm also certified to administer Myers-Briggs. So Myers-Briggs type inventory, which is a personality assessment. So if you're not familiar with Myers-Briggs, let me tell you what Myers-Briggs, how it defines introversion. Okay. Introversion is, contrary to popular belief, has nothing to do with being shy or unenergetic. All of those are actually kind of symptoms of having some type of social anxiety or having some kind of challenges with socialization, typically in our teenage years when we're going through puberty. Somewhere in that 11 to 14 year year of age is kind of where we develop the personalities who we will become for our entire lives. So if you are someone who kind of has social anxiety, who gets nervous meeting new people or talking to new people, typically that has something to do with what occurred to you when you were between 11 and 14. Same rules apply for me. Okay. I wish I had a picture, but I was the girl growing up. I was always the girl who was reading. I don't care what family function we were at. I was bringing a book. Like, I preferred to be in the corner somewhere reading my books. At Thanksgiving, I would interact, I would talk, I was very observant, still observant. And most of the family, they just accepted that Tish was the one who, she in the corner, she reading. Every family function, I had a book, at least one book that I was reading, right? So introversion, according to Myers-Briggs, it really, all it means is that you get energized, you get your energy, right, by being alone. So those of us who are introverted, a lot of women are introverted. Empaths, a lot of empaths are introverted, right? So we spend a lot of time in nature with crystals, reading. These are the ways that we get our energy, mainly being by ourselves. It's not that we can't be around people, because we can, right? It's just that we get energized. We kind of recharge by ourselves. Extroverts, however, recharge typically in groups. That's why you'll notice if you're in any group, right? Usually the extroverts are the ones who are like the life of the party, right? But introverts are usually the ones who are kind of on the sidelines. In a party, right? Introverts are typically along the edges, where extroverts are typically in the middle, in the heart of the matter. Okay. And so these are ultimately just simply behavior preferences. So let's keep that in mind. These are behavior preferences. This means that it's not necessarily that these are the behaviors that we prefer. It's kind of like being right-handed versus left-handed. That's how introversion or extroversion works. It's really about, okay, I prefer using my right hand. Don't mean my left hand is broke, but I prefer using, and it's most natural for me to use my right hand. So when it comes to where we get our energy, right? That's that introversion. It's basically, I prefer, and it's most natural for me to get my energy by myself. That's why I live alone. That's why I carry crystals. I usually got rocks in my pocket. I keep rocks, crystals on me. I love nature, flowers, trees, dirt. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason I did this cross-country road trip. So let's talk about how freedom requires friends. Okay. So I've already showed you this little diagram. Let me show it again for the newcomers. Freedom requires friends. Okay, so according to the Anansi story, and that's here, Anansi was a spider, right, who basically said, hey, I'm going to gather all of the information around the world. And so in order to gather it, what I'm really going to do is collect it in a pot and bury it. Anansi was a bit of a trickster. Okay, now this is a West African folktale, so just be mindful of this. So what happened was Anansi gathered all of the knowledge and information of the world, according to the folktale. And as he was going to bury it, he actually dropped the pot. And so the pot, all of the knowledge in the world shot out in different directions, right? And the entire world was basically had all of this knowledge. Anansi wanted to keep it for himself. He screwed up, dropped the pot. No more knowledge no more ability for Anansi to hold on to this, right? So let me show you how exactly this applies for Beyonce. Now, like I said, Beyonce's at Coachella this weekend. She's rocking out. Okay. So if you notice inside that diagram, in the center is the symbol, West African Adinkra symbol called Anansi in Tontan. Okay. And what exactly does this have to do with you? Well, guess what, boo? You are Anansi in your life. And what that means is, as a coach, as an entrepreneur, as a awesome and amazing woman who's making change in her community, right? We are the Anansi of our life. And what that looks like is that we are responsible for gathering all of the knowledge that's within the world. And so how does that work? That basically means that we are responsible for connecting with different types of women and sometimes men, okay? And connecting with them in order to serve our greater purpose. Now, how does this look in real life? Now, let me show you an example. I've got this cute little diagram here that basically shows, let me get some paper. We're going to do this real bootleg because I don't want you to see all of the things at once, okay? So I'm going to put some little things here. All right, there we go. So we got Beyonce in the middle, okay? So let's pretend that you are Beyonce, because ain't that everybody go? You want to be the Beyonce of your industry. You want to be the Beyonce in your community. That don't mean you got to have blonde weave and you got to wear bodysuits. What it does mean, however, is you want to be the baddest, the most amazing when it comes to what it is that you're doing. When somebody thinks about what it is that you do, you want them to think of your name, right? When you think of the greatest performer ever, who, young lady who's part of a girl group, depending on what generation you're from, this weekend, most people are saying it's Beyonce. Okay, so we're going to use Beyonce in our example. In the first, here we go. So you are the Beyonce, okay? This is you. This here, you are Beyonce. So let's start here. So the very first place that we talked about was your network. Okay, so your network, these are the people that we have on our team who sometimes people pit against us, right? Sometimes people assume that we are competition, but there's only one Beyonce. There can only be one Beyonce. So for Beyonce, we're talking about your Rihannas, okay? So this is folk who do something similar to what you do. For me, these are all of the women who are also coaches, right? These are also the women who also host online businesses. Part of the reason that I was able to turn this back to myself. Part of the reason I've been able to travel the way across country for the past 2 weeks is that I've built relationships with people who others would think, oh, they're competition, right? Oh, they're doing the same things. Not at all. As a matter of fact, we each have our own unique niche, right? We have our unique communities, our unique group of people where each of us are the Beyonce in our world, right? Virginia's on the line. Virginia's a coach. She coaches folk on how to write books. I do too, but I incorporate the coaching, the book coaching into using your book to launch your coaching or consulting firm, right? So me and Virginia are in no ways competing against one another. We work very well together. I also work with Lauren Varlack of Brand Your Flavor, right? Who's basically, she might as well be Rihanna. She's from the Virgin Islands. If you ever listen to any of her stuff, she's got this cool ass accent. But, people would try to pit us against each other because both of us have memberships and we're teaching marketing. Not at all. Lauren focuses on the visual component and I focus on specifically how all of this, the branding, all of this relates to building your coaching company, right? So this is network. Okay. So we got your network. These are the people who some folk would say, oh, they're competing. Nope, not at all. We're not competing at all. Okay. So underneath on the next, right? So here it is. We got network. Next we're going to go here to support. Now, these are the folk who directly support you. Now, if you are Beyonce, let me move this little light. You got Jay-Z. All right. Jay-Z, this is your support team. Who is your Jay-Z? For me, this is Candace, who's my therapist. I talk to her every other week. I freaking love Candace. I also have a group of mastermind members who Lauren and Virginia are also a part of, right? So these are the folk who directly support me as I'm accomplishing my goal, my vision, my dream, my calling, doing what I was put here on earth to do. I got a support team, right? It ain't just me by myself. This is why I say freedom requires friends. Baby, if I did not have the support on my team that I have, and I just recently really started focusing on people who support me, who make it possible for me to do all that I've been called to do, right? Now that I have that support, this is like accomplishing my mission and really living my calling. It's become a whole 10 times easier because I know that it's not just me. I know that I'm not out here alone. Again, I'm a natural introvert, right? So the way that I've met each of these women is, we'll talk about this in a minute, but one by one. I don't typically I don't meet groups of people. I usually go into a group and find one person because I'm on the sidelines. As introverts, this is what we do. I'm on the sideline observing folk. And so I'm looking for the folk who got the best energy, who look like they're genuine, who look like that, they're compassionate, who looks like they care about people. Right. And so because of my therapist and because of my support team, what that looks like, who care about people, who compassionate, who give a shit about, living their best lives. Those are the kinds of people who I connect with. And because of my therapist, when I'm looking at people, I'm able to see who they really are versus what I think they might be. Right. So you might catch that later. All right. So let's go back here. So we're looking at the support. Then we're looking at the partners. Okay. So remember, you are the Beyonce of your industry, right? So, and comment below if this is working out for you, if this makes sense. So now let's look at your partners. So who are your partners? Now, remember when Beyonce pulled out the, video shoot? What video was that, y'all, that she pulled out where she had Serena popping? And then she had, I remember the Nicki Minaj one. Right? Your partners are basically the people who you can partner with in order to serve your community. Okay. So this is what's super cool is there's sometimes in totally different industries. There's sometimes in things doing things that are absolutely different from you. For me, that's my homegirl Akila. She's all over SEO. I don't even speak SEO, site engine optimization, but she's on that thing. Okay, she do that thing like nobody's business. She is definitely the Beyonce of SEO. Now, if you notice, like I said, there can only be one Beyonce, but here's the cool thing. When you connect with folk who are at the top of their game, there's only one Beyonce in tennis. You know, there's only one Beyonce in the rap game. There's only one Beyonce, female rappers, right? One Beyonce in the amongst the male rappers. There can only be one Beyonce. But the cool thing is when you do what you do and hone in on what you do well, it's a lot easier for you to be able to connect with other people who do what it is that they do. This is why I say freedom requires friends, because the more that I am the Beyonce of my industry, the more I'm looking for the Serenas and the Nicki Minaj's and the Jay-Z's and the Rihanna's, right? I'm looking for folk to partner with, because they say it's lonely at the top, but it's crowded as hell at the bottom. It's not really, it's only lonely if you force yourself to be alone, right? Everybody has somebody. Tiffany Haddish, she talks about her story where she was living in her car and Kevin Hart gave her $300, right, to get a room. Everybody, in order to really achieve a high level of freedom, we have got to have friends. So let's get this last part right here, because I don't want to keep y'all long. So now we got clients, right? So you got your network, you're Beyonce. Then you got Rihanna here, you got Jay-Z here, you got Serena and Nicki Minaj here, right? Now, ordinarily, when people are looking for clients, and this can also be your mentees, right? This can also be folk who you're mentoring, but these are the folk who you are serving. This should be, say, community instead of clients, but these are the folk who are specifically looking for you. Now, here's the cool, really cool thing about this. Most of us, when we go to start a business, because we're first generation entrepreneurs, we immediately go looking for clients first. Let me show you the that I don't support that. That's never what I've done. Instead of looking for clients first, what I've done instead is look for relationships, build relationships with people, right? And genuine relationships, folk who I actually like. I'm not talking about frenemies. I'm not talking about the Real Housewives type shit. I'm talking about folk who I genuinely want to hang with, right? Some people say, well, oh, this is business. This ain't pleasure. Look, boo, I got a bachelor's degree in accounting. I've worked in corporate America. I've got a master's degree in nonprofit management. And what I learned, and I pledged sorority and was the president and was elected the state representative for the undergrads. Well, here's what I know for sure. When it comes to you accomplishing goals and you making moves in your life, you need to have folk on the inside who know who you are and who can speak for your character and for the value that you bring to the table. Okay. That's how, really just based off relationships and attempting to serve and connect. That's how I was able to connect with Tiffany Aliche, the Budgetnista, right? Because I built a genuine relationship with her. I saw what she was doing. I freaking loved it. I didn't know that she had a huge platform. I had no clue she was going to become the woman with the largest social media platform of all Black women personal finance educators. I had no clue. I just saw what she was doing back in 2013 and was like, yo, I love that. How can I support? How can I get on board? How can I share that? Right? So that's what it means to connect for me. I don't use the word network because I genuinely connect with people and I consider folk friends. And so these are and the funny thing is when you build those types of relationships, here's what happens. Folks will come to you, your clients, the community you serve will come from each of these areas because of you partner with them, right? Beyonce and the clients, these are your clients and your community plus your community, right? Okay. Beyonce, the folk who are a part of the Beehive, guess where they came from? Folk comparing her to Rihanna. Right? Folk who was like, well, let me look into that. Let me see what got, and then they became part of the Beehive. Jay-Z, folk who was like, oh, I love Jay-Z. And when he hooked up with Beyonce, she expanded her audience, right? And it was like, oh, let me become, okay, I'm really feeling her. Like, okay, she the shit, right? Became part of the Beehive. Let me write that down here. Right? And then folk who love Serena, who love Nicki Minaj, they became part of the Beehive too. So this is why I say freedom requires friends. It's not just, this is typically right? Where we are focused. It's not just about going out and getting clients. It's also about expanding your network, creating your support team, making sure you've got partners who you can partner with. And that's how you build your community. Coaches, entrepreneurs, and all of you awesome and amazing women who are incorporating coaching into your online coaching and consulting companies. So I'm going to, good. Okay, I got it. 20 minutes. That's my goal, y'all. To only keep you for 20 minutes or less. I cannot freaking see any comments. So I hope that you've been able to hear me. That would freaking suck if you could not allow your, I don't know how to freaking, yep, and ain't none of this working. Let's see. Nope. Oh, I can't see any comments. Okay, let me see. Comment below if this has been helpful. If you have questions, and if you want to learn exactly how to connect, exactly how I've been able to build relationships, how I've been able to meet new people on Facebook, this is something that I teach within the Coach Your Damn Self Leadership Academy, which I'm hosting a free workshop on May 1st. So if you go to coachyourdamnself.com, you can sign up to attend. Let's see. Okay, I think I might be able to at least see. Okay, yay. Okay, thank you, Deidre. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Yes. Okay. So if you go to coachyourdamnself.com, last year we launched a free coaching challenge that over 2,000 women signed up for, right? And it was 30 days. And what I discovered was that in those 30, it was too long. People fell off. And so what we did was compacted the latest and greatest hits from those 30 days and pulled it into 3 days, a 3-day workshop. So I'm going to ask if you have, first off, share this video. Second off, if you have any desire to package your knowledge, your experience, and create your own level of freedom, right? And by creating your own level of freedom, you would like to coach, you would like to teach, you would like to consult online, go and sign up for the Coach Your Damn Self, the new and improved version that is specifically focused on how to build and launch your coaching and consulting company, right? I do have another screen open so I can see your questions if you have any, but that's what I'm all about. I'm here because, like I said, I've achieved a level of freedom that allows me to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, and how I want to do it, right? I worked in higher education for 10 years, primarily working with adult students, primarily working with first generation entrepreneurs. And I freaking loved it. I was a SCORE mentor, if you're familiar with SCORE, right? But I found my passion and my niche within the coaching world. I love everything as it relates to really helping folk change their minds, right? And get clear about achieving their goals. That's what I did as an academic advisor. And after going through spending, well over 30 grand in learning internet marketing, hiring multiple millionaire mentors, and getting certified 3 times, board certification, life coach certification, and health coach certification. And I'm actually working on a PhD in metaphysics and holistic life coaching. Whew. That's a mouthful. But what I figured out was this is what I love. I love talking to women like me who are from the hood like me, who got something to offer and want to offer it talking in our regular language. We ain't got to put on airs. Like, we want to be free from putting on airs. Deidre asked, will it be all day? It's a 3-day workshop. It will not be all day, boo. You see, these are only 20 minutes. I'm not trying. Listen. No, it's a 3-day workshop. We're going to spread it out over 3 days because it's going to be packed full of information. But each workshop, it will not be all day because I want you to be able to take action on what you're learning. It will not be all day. It will probably be like a 20 to 30 minute workshop each day. And so then we'll be taking questions. We'll be sharing information, implementing immediately, right? Because I want to get you to a place where you are walking into your own freedom. This is why we teach these Freedom Foundations courses, so you can identify what exactly is the foundation. The foundational stuff, this is not the stuff that I learned in college. Now, you heard me say I got a bunch of degrees. They ain't teaching, that freedom requires faith, fear, and friends. And they teach you they say, you need to network. You have no clue who the freak you're supposed to be networking with, right? So these are all things that I've discovered along my journey. And like I told you, I told you earlier, I meet people one-on-one. This is my absolute favorite way to meet folk. I meet folk one-on-one. And when I was working full-time, I didn't have all day it was traffic. I lived between DC and Baltimore. Lord knows your girl was not driving through DC traffic during rush hour to go to nobody's networking event. So how did I meet folk? My meetings happen typically online. I met the folk who I wanted to meet online, one-on-one. I will go in Facebook groups, right? And I tell you exactly this stuff I teach in the academy, but I would go in Facebook groups and just meet people, reach out to the people who seemed interested. The same way that we stand on the sidelines and live in person, I stood on the sidelines in Facebook groups too. And the people who seemed interesting, I would reach out to them one-on-one. Antonia asks, is it only for aspiring coaches? If you have a desire to package your knowledge into either a coaching and launch either a coaching or a consulting company, right? So I'm big on the coach approach, right? And coaching, even though it kind of has a bad rap when you look around, because most of these folk ain't certified. 90% of the people you're looking at have never been trained to coach. And coaching, what it really is, and this is why I teach according to the Coach Your Damn Self methodology. Think about it. When we were in third grade and we were learning something, the teacher would teach, right? And then we would have a ditto or a worksheet. And then they would be fill in the blank. So then we would go find our own answers. That's what Coach Your Damn Self is about. That's the methodology that I teach. That's the methodology that I believe in. And that's really how I have been able to do everything that I've done. I've never worked well with people who want to hold my hand. I don't need no damn hand holding. I'm grown. Give me what it is that I need so I can go find the rest. Right? So I teach according to the Coach Your Damn Self methodology, which is really how to package your information so that your clients ain't expecting you to hold their hands neither. It's showing you how to partner with high performing folk, right? Who are already on the path, who are looking to learn what it is they've been looking for you. And now it's really all about, okay, so what are the tools that you need and how do you need to package it, right? So that the people who are looking for you, they can, and you're going to have multiple people who are looking for you. Folk who going to just want a little bit of information. Folk who want to spend 3 whole days with you, right? So I want to partner with you so we can launch that for you. So is it only for aspiring coaches? No, this is for if you are in the service industry, if you are looking to serve and you want to package your knowledge into online courses, or you want to teach, or you want to speak, right? These are the ways that, these are the areas in which you can take what we're teaching and rock it out. So I'm about to log off. Let me know if you have any other questions. Share this if this has been helpful for you. And as always, freedom requires friends, y'all. So please go out there and make you some, and make sure you sign up for the free 3-day workshop happening May 1st at Coach Your Damn Self. That's CoachYadamnSelfs. Yeah. I was like, wait, did I say C? No. CoachYourDamnSelf.com. And I'll holler at y'all later.